So glyphosate is the most widely used herbicide in our towns and cities, and in 2015 the World Health Organization classified it as a probable human carcinogen. It's caused a lot of controversy in Europe. It was up for reapproval this year, and it was thought that it would sail through and get another 15 years of use, but because of the concerns about the health effects of it, it's been granted a temporary 18-month approval whilst more work is done on looking at its toxic effects. But it's used everywhere. It's not just linked to cancer, it's also linked to a variety of health and environmental issues, including birth defects, neurological problems, kidney damage, and a whole range of other issues. And its overuse is also affecting plant biodiversity. But it isn't just glyphosate, and this campaign is called Pesticide Free Towns campaign for a reason. We want to see the end of all pesticides used in towns and cities. According to the most recent survey, there are 41 different types of pesticide that are used in the amenity sector. These include herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, and many of those that are used pose a risk to human and or environmental health. And it's not just to the public, it's also to the people that are using the pesticides as well. So everybody can be affected. So of those 41, well, of the top 15 of those 41, 13 of them are either probable, possible or confirmed carcinogens. Some of them are endocrine disruptors, some of them are acutely toxic, and some have developmental or reproductive toxin qualities. And we're spraying these around, we're spraying these in areas where our children frequent, and as I've said before, they're the more vulnerable to the potential long-term effects of pesticide use. So what are the alternatives? Well, there are, pesticides are mainly used in towns to control weeds, and there are alternatives we can use. One of the best is just to accept a slightly higher level of weediness. Weeds in their own right can be very beautiful plants. They can serve as a function. They can feed bees in the spring. Dandelions provide much needed food for bees emerging from hibernation. So perhaps we should learn to love our weeds a little bit more. That's quite a useful way. There are sort of old-fashioned techniques, hand weeding, hoeing, using a scythe, for example. And then there are more advanced modern techniques such as hot foam or hot water and electric control systems. And there are other things that are more applicable to parks than streets, sort of mulching of flower beds, using cover plants to kill off weeds. There are a whole range of different options available, and our experience from around the world has shown that actually there's no one single solution, but taking a suite of different measures that can deal with the situation where you are is usually the best approach. And that really is our point. Pesticide free is possible. So there are already more than 400 towns, cities and villages in France that have gone pesticide free, and France has actually introduced legislation that will stop the use of all non-agricultural pesticides by 2017. All of Belgium will be pesticide free by 2019. 8 out of 10 Canadian provinces have got restrictions on the use of pesticides, cosmetic use of pesticides. Barcelona, Paris, Hamburg, Ghent have all gone pesticide free. And we've got a whole list up on our website, which we update regularly, of towns that are shifting away from pesticides, whether it's just glyphosate or whether it's all pesticides. So there is a real global momentum, and the UK is sadly lagging behind. But we will continue to ensure that those already committed to going pesticide free succeed. We are aiming to grow and develop our existing campaigns, get new people on board and support them. We have a wider goal of trying to follow the French model and get in legislation that would ban the use of all non-agricultural pesticides. That's quite a way off, but if it can be shown that it's possible, if there's enough towns and cities across the UK that go pesticide free, then we can make the case that actually this is something we could do. We're working very closely with our colleagues in Europe to bring best case examples of what's happening over there, but also to try and influence legislation, although there are obvious issues with that now that we're pulling out of the EU. And if you want to find out more, we've got a whole range of materials, information on our website.